What is the life of this world but like a person who dips his finger into an ocean? Let him then raise his finger and see what he brings back. I read a narration that is from the Israeliyat, Judeo-Christian tradition. Isa, Jesus, the son of Mary, alayhi salatu wasalam, was traveling once with a companion of his who wanted to accompany him on the way. And during their journey, when they reached out for their lunch, which was 3 loaves of bread, they noticed that one of the 3 was mysteriously missing. And so Prophet Isa alayhi salam, he asks, where is the 3rd loaf of bread? And the man denies any theft. And he says, I swear by Allah, they were only ever 2 loaves of bread. So Prophet Isa chose not to investigate this any further. And they continued traveling until they came across a blind man. And Prophet Isa alayhi salam passed his hand over his face, and Allah Jalla Jalaluhu restored his vision. And this was one of the miracles that we know as Muslims Allah had given Prophet Isa. Allah said in Surah Al-Ma'idah, وَأُبْرِئُ الْأَكْمَةِ, I cure the blind. And al-akmah, by the way, is not just somebody who is of average type of blindness. It's someone who is born blind. It's the most difficult type of issue or a problem to cure. So the man was amazed to see the vision of this person restored. So Isa alayhi salam said to him, I ask you in the name of the one, Allah, who restored the vision of this man, where is the 3rd loaf of bread? And the man said that there were only ever 2 loaves of bread. So he didn't investigate further. They continued their journey until they came to the edge of a river, and Isa alayhi salam was about to cross. The man inquired, this is a strange feat, how are we going to do this? He said, say Bismillah in the name of Allah and follow me. And lo and behold, they were walking on the surface of the water. And of course, this again is not something that particularly amazes us, because we know of companions who walked on water in authentic chains of transmission. Abu Muslim al-Khawlani. Abu Muslim, by the way, is not even a companion, he's a tabi'i. But with Abu Hurairah and others during the apostate wars, the Ridda wars, they did run on water when they were chasing the apostates in the direction of Bahrain. That's a fact. So this is the karama, the honor of Allah to this ummah, that our men and our women who were not even prophets and messengers enjoyed certain miracles that prophets of the past enjoyed. So they cross over the river and the man is amazed. So Prophet Isa alayhi salam says to him, I ask you in the name of the one who allowed us to walk on the water, what happened to the 3rd loaf of bread? And the man goes, I swear they were only ever 2 loaves of bread. There's no use with this individual. They get to the other side of the river, and Isa alayhi salam, he creates 3 heaps of soil, and he prays to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to convert them into piles of gold. And Allah converted them into gold. And the man is amazed, and he says, who does this gold belong to? He said to him, the first pile belongs to me. 2nd pile is yours. The 3rd pile belongs to who? The man who ate the bread. So he said, I ate the last loaf of bread. So Prophet Isa alayhi salam says to him, all of this gold is yours. This is the end of our communication. It's become clear to him that this is not a type of integrity that you should be walking with. So Isa alayhi salam disassociated from this man, and he left him with the gold. And here he is now kind of rubbing his hands together thinking, La ilaha illallah, this is the end of my financial problems. But no sooner than he had these thoughts than 3 horsemen pass by, and they see this man guarding all of this gold, and they kill him. And that's the end of his ambitions. These 3 men, they sit with one another now to distribute this fortune between themselves. And shaitan, he's never too far behind when dunya comes between people. And each is now thinking to himself, how can I keep all of this money to myself? And so 2 of them, they whisper, they say, why don't we send off our friend to bring us some food? When he comes back, we end his life. He said, good idea. Can you fetch us some food? And he makes his way to go and fetch the food. Now shaitan comes to him when he was bringing food, and he says, wouldn't it be great if I had all of that money to myself? So he poisons the food. So he comes back thinking he has the perfect plan in place, and he hands over the food to them. They meet him with successive stabs with their daggers, and they kill him. They now celebrate this triumph by eating the food. They then kneel over in pain, and they die. Then not soon after this, Prophet Isa alayhi salam comes to the same scene, and he sees 4 men dead on the ground. his ex-companion, his ex-friend, and those 3 horsemen. And what was interesting is that they are all dead, and the 3 piles of gold are what? Untouched. And then he said, هَكَذَا تَفْعَلُ الدُّنْيَا بِأَهْلِهَا. This is what dunya does to its people. How many families have broken apart because of a pursuit of dunya? And how many reputations were shattered because of dunya? How many cousins are no longer speaking to one another? Employee are no longer speaking with one another. How many countries were invaded in pursuit of dunya? How many scholars were killed and reformers locked up and tortured, all in pursuit of dunya? And principles that were changed, religion that was lost, and homes in the hereafter that were demolished, all in pursuit of a cheap gain in the life of this world, in chasing of dunya. Is this not a reality? And Allah will say to us, Ya ayyuhan nas, O humanity, Inna wa'da Allahi haqq, the promise of Allah is true. فَلَا تَغُرَّنَّكُمُ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا. So do not be deceived by the life of this world. وَلَا يَغُرَّنَّكُمْ بِاللَّهِ الْغَرُورِ. And do not be deceived by the chief deceiver himself, shaitan. Do not be deceived by dunya, Allah, the maker of dunya, he says. And notice how he warns us of dunya before he warns us of shaitan. And the reason behind this, as the scholars they say, is that the main apparatus used by shaitan to deceive us is the apparatus of dunya. Another method is that at times the Quran will use rain as an analogy, as an example. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, وَاضْرِبْ لَهُمْ مَثَلَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. Give people the example of the life of this world. كَمَاء, it's like rain. أَنزَلْنَاهُ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ, which we bring down from the sky. فَاخْتَلَطَ بِهِ نَبَاتُ الْأَرْضِ, which then mixes with the vegetation of the earth. فَأَصْبَحَ هَشِيمًا تَذْرُوهُ الرِّيَاحِ. And then it becomes dry, broken into pieces, scattered by the wind. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ مُقْتَدِرًا. And Allah is able to do all things. So it's like rain. Allah refers to dunya as rain. And then you see vegetation, and the farmers become so happy, and then all of a sudden it changes, and it's out of their control. You've come across plots of land that's green and lush, vibrant, filled with vitality, and then you visit the very same land later on in life, and lo and behold, it's parched. It's dry, it's desolate, it's gone. And this is the life of dunya. All of those stashes of cash, and all of that fame, and all of that praise, and those high-rise towers, and the spacious homes, and those fancy cars, the end of it is going to be a farewell. Either you bid it farewell through sadaqah, or it will bid you farewell through death. The Prophet of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, in the hadith which Muslim narrates on the authority of Al-Mustawrid Ibn Shaddad, he said, مَا الدُّنْيَا فِي الْآخِرَةِ إِلَّا مِثْلُ مَا يَجْعَلُ أَحَدُكُمْ أُصْبُعَهُ فِي الْيَمِّ فَلْيَنْظُرْ بِمَا يَرْجَعُ. What is the life of this world but like a person who dips his finger into an ocean? Let him then raise his finger and see what he brings back. Subhanallah. Yeah. So that damp that you have on your finger, those 2 or 3 droplets after you've raised your finger from the sea, this is the dunya. Those are my and your career aspirations, and those are our savings, and those are our investments. And that's the men and women, all within that bit of water. And those towers in your Americas and your East and your West, it's all there. And as for the ocean, that is the akhirah. La ilaha illallah. That is the akhirah. That's how to understand whether your life falls under the category of blameworthy or praiseworthy dunya. So let's use it as a touchstone. I'll give you an example of how to use this touchstone in your day-to-day life. Take your social media, for example. If your social media is causing you, for example, to grow as a Muslimah, it's causing you to learn new knowledge, it's causing you to use your time wisely, effectively, it's a platform for you to give da'wah and to speak about your religion and to forbid what is evil and to promote what is good. Guess what? Your social media is part of the dunya that Allah has spoken highly of. If in your particular circumstance your social media is being used for other things, it's detracted from your salah, it's made your attention span very short, you're unable to lower your gaze, you're responding to every DM that's coming your way, and so on and so forth, then in that scenario, your social media is part of the dunya that Allah has condemned. Brothers and sisters, I just want to conclude really by saying to you that one of our objectives as Muslims in the life of this world is to try to evict it from the heart, and once you've evicted it from the heart, you don't throw it away. Our religion takes a very unique look and take on the life of this world. We're not like other religions that makes success in this world the enemy of the success in the hereafter, and the happiness in this world the enemy of the happiness in the hereafter. And that if you are a successful entrepreneur, then it means you can never be a saint. We don't have that. And our history is proof of that. We don't have that contradiction. We don't have that fight between dunya and the akhirah. What we do that makes us different to others is that we play a role in taking it out of our heart and then we place it in our hands and beneath our feet, so that we manipulate our dunya to serve us. It does not manipulate us to serve its cause.